Let's explore and discuss the spirit level perspective on illness and disease and sickness. And I'm in a good place to do that right now because at this very moment, I have COVID. I tested positive 3 days ago. Rochelle tested positive yesterday, so we're currently COVID buddies. It's my first time getting it as far as I know. Managed to hold off for 4 years, but it finally came through. And COVID and I decided to co-create a video together, I guess you could say. In fact, it's right there in its name, right? Co-vid, co-create video. So I figured, all right, why not? Let's go with the flow of that. And so in this video, I'm going to explore and share about that spirit level perspective on disease. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to channel a personal message for everybody from the spirit of COVID itself that it wants to share. I don't know what's going to come through, so we'll find that out together. It's not scripted or anything. Let's talk about disease in general. How do people typically relate to it? How do they frame it? Well, one is it's a threat, right? So with that kind of framing, what do? You fight it, you resist it. Maybe you complain about it. And what effect does that have? Well, it increases cortisol in your body. It suppresses your immune system. It actually creates more tension and stress, right? Because now you're fighting a mental and emotional battle in addition to framing it as a physical battle that you're doing inside your body. Very popular framing, but not one I like using. Next one that's pretty common is surrender. Oh, well, I'm sick. Let me just go with the flow of it. I'll try not to fight it, try not to resist it. I'll just get extra rest. That's a better framing. It reduces the mental and emotional resistance, which can be good for your immune system too. It's a little boring though. I think we can do better than that. So another frame, which I would recommend, is instead of seeing illness as some kind of attack or threat, actually see it as something like a messenger or perhaps an invitation. It's trying to share something with you. It's an information delivery vehicle. Illness and COVID in particular are constructs. They're energy forms. They're made of energy. Everything in this reality, even though it appears solid, it's energy. And so because it's energy, you can actually communicate with it on an energetic level. Say through meditation, you can close your eyes, tune in, go into a meditative spiritual space, and then ask to speak to the spirit or the energy of whatever it is that you may be infected with. So the spirit of the flu, the spirit of cancer, the spirit of heart disease, the spirit of COVID itself. Ask to have a dialogue with it, basically channel its messages. And you can do that by listening and going back and forth in your mind. You can do it by journaling, by writing it down. I do both quite a bit. You can do that with anything that's a part of your reality because it's all energy. Now, I'm not saying that COVID is a human level consciousness, but I decided, I never really tried to communicate with the spirit of COVID before. Let me see if this works, because I've been in that space of exploration quite a bit lately. And sure enough, it came through. It was a little bit fuzzy, foggy to get a lock onto it at first. It didn't come through as strongly as a spirit that has more human form, like a previously deceased human. But it eventually came through, and I was able to communicate with it. And so I kind of asked it about its messaging. And I do this with a lot of illnesses when they start coming through, especially when I feel they're hovering around me. And you ever have that feeling like, I feel like there's an illness right next to me and it's wanting to come through. I think of it as like the spirit of illness is hovering near me. It's not in my body yet, but it's hovering near. And it's trying to get my attention, maybe give me a soft, gentle warning without actually having to make me sick, and seeing if I'll listen. And oftentimes I'm able to stave it off because I will get the message in advance and I don't have to have the actual illness. A common message I get in those situations is slow down, you're out of balance, you're working too much, too hard, you're doing too much of a monofocus in a certain direction and you need to rebalance your life. Give attention to other priorities, especially like if you're overdoing it on work, shift to your personal side for a while. Or another one is just rest more. Take a break, rest more. You're overworking yourself. That's one thing that I get as a common message. Another kind of message, this one is one specifically that COVID shared. It said, I'm really here as a bit of a spiritual wellness check, as ironic as that may seem. It's an invitation or a check to see if people want to check out. Either their human selves figuring, okay, I might as well go back to spirit space, or their spirit selves saying, here's a reason to pull my human out and let's take them back to spirit space. And one of the reasons for this being a vehicle in this seemingly physical world, this physical matrix, is that the body needs a reason to let go. That's something I learned, that even advanced yogis can sometimes feel that even if they feel prepared to transition to afterlife, back to spirit space, their bodies may still resist letting go. The body may fight and create fear and create tension and not want to let go. So even when the mind, the heart, the spirit, they're pretty advanced, the body may be like, no, I want to stay. The role of COVID, which is played for millions of people, is to basically give their bodies reasons to let the spirit transition back to spirit space. That's not the only purpose that COVID can have, but that's a purpose it's had for many people, apparently, is what I picked up there. For me, the message was different, a bit more personal. It wasn't really offering to take me back to spirit space per se, but it did ask me the question, why stay? So if you want to stay in human form, you don't have to. You've seen and experienced enough, on the astral level, spirit space. You'd probably have a really amazing time out there too. Why do you want to stay here in this more limited realm, the human matrix? Why stay in your human body? You don't have to anymore. You can go back if you want. So that question was posed to me. And so I thought, interesting. Okay. And I journaled about it and I came up with a bunch of different answers. The main one that I came up with was, I really want to play the role next of being something like a spirit guide in human form. Tune in and keep gathering up information from spirit space and share it with people who are ready and able to hear it. Not everyone is going to have permission to be able to hear that. They won't find these videos, they won't find this information, or if they hear it, they'll block it, they'll talk themselves out of it, they'll convince themselves I'm crazy and so on. That's all important, actually. Just as the body needs a reason to let go, people need those objective reasons to object. So I want to keep allowing them to do that. That's important. For other people, though, that are ready for it, they'll feel very in tune with it and they'll be like, okay, this is cool. Great. We have somebody sharing this kind of information for us. The role I see myself taking on is something like a bridge to spirit. It's really a bit of an assignment. It reminds me a lot of where I was about 20 years ago when I was thinking of getting into self-development blogging, and I saw this opportunity there. And it really began with a bit of a dialogue with the spirit level of life and seeing that there's this assignment to basically help to blow up self-development information and awareness on the internet, which had not really happened back in 2004 when I was starting on this path. So I saw, there's a spirit level opportunity here. The spirit wants to flow this information on the internet and get way more people into conscious growth, kind of a mass awakening invitation. And I thought, I want to ride that wave. I want to be a part of that. I want to help contribute to it. The career path, the income generation, all that felt like it was just very easily taken care of, almost done for me, because the spirit level was really aligned. And that's something I found really powerful in life, is getting aligned at that spirit level, and it just makes the human level issues kind of trivial. And many times we do the opposite, right? We try to solve problems at the human level and it frustrates us and we run into roadblocks and obstacles. But if you pick up a spirit level assignment, which you can even get through the spirit of an illness, a disease, it makes the solving of all those other problems, challenges, much easier. And also, it has other benefits. Like in the 20 years I've been doing this work, never burned out, never had writer's block, just so much flow, so much fun, really amazing, beautiful path when you feel like you have a spiritual mandate. So instead of seeing an illness as a threat, you could choose to see it as a teacher, a messenger, a source of information, perhaps even a dance partner to share energy with. You could also see an illness as a wake-up call. Certainly that's another role it's played for many people, an invitation to change something about their lives, maybe their physical health habits, maybe the path they've been on is not the one they want to continue down anymore. Certainly, near-death experiences have been transformational for many people. Perhaps a lesser version of that is it's a character check. How is your character development doing in this life? Do you like where you're taking your character? An illness can squeeze out more of an answer, a stronger answer, and sometimes it squeezes out regrets and worries and frustrations, and it makes you take stock and perhaps change the direction you're going. Another possibility for an illness is that it's a slow fade out. It's a chance to say your goodbyes, to wrap up your affairs. It allows your body to let go slowly and more gracefully, more gradually perhaps. Now, what tends to make it way more stressful is resisting it. But the actual process of letting go doesn't have to be that way. So this is an invitation for you to ask, what's the message in illness for you? The messaging I get when I tune in is that it's very personalized. So cancer does not mean the same thing for everyone. Heart disease does not mean the same thing for everyone. COVID does not mean the same thing for everyone. You have to ask, what's the message in it for you? Go to the source, ask, get your own personalized message. That's, I think, the only level where it's going to have meaning for you. At this point, I'm going to do a little tune in. I'll edit out that part, and I'll come back and share a message from the spirit of COVID itself. Hey humans, it's me, COVID. I know I'm commonly seen as a threat, an adversary, an enemy, something to be wiped out. How's that going for you guys so far, by the way? I'm not actually here to beat you down. In fact, even when I get in your body, consider this: your immune system doesn't destroy me, it integrates me, it receives me. You could see me as matter, but I'm actually energy too, right? And since energy is neither created nor destroyed, where does it go? My energy becomes a part of you, and my information becomes a part of you. I represent ancient wisdom. I represent something to share. Not just a messenger, as Steve said, more like access to a library. So when I get inside you, I'm a form of an upgrade. If I have a message to share, though, in a general sense, it would be to soften your relationship with what you perceive to be a threat, or a battle, or a source of conflict. You humans really love to turn things into fights and battles, don't you? Everything's gotta be in conflict. But does it really have to be that way? Even with a disease, I want you to get the sense that there can be a co-creative and cooperative invitation there. Now, if you could find that in disease, where else could you find it? If a disease can be a message, an invitation, a dance, a teacher, what else in life could take some other form other than being a threat that you must respond to with resistance and fighting? So my invitation is to open your mind more, open your heart more, open yourself to spirit space more, to other interpretations. There are more than one, and you don't always have to go with a threat-based response. Is that actually going to help? Think about it. Even if you see me as invading your body as something hostile and foreign that you have to eliminate, is it actually helping for you to mentally and emotionally create more stress by framing that as a battle that must be won? Isn't that strange that that framing doesn't actually help you win? That's a clue that you should seek alternative frames. Because with a cooperative frame, your body will still do what it's going to do. Your immune system will actually function better if you lighten up your vibe, lighten up your emotional response, stay happy. You can actually be happily sick like Steve has been doing. He did not weaken his immune system in his response. Okay, back to Steve mode. Hope you enjoyed this mini deep dive into spirit space and to get the spirit level perspective on illness and disease. I have another video coming up, which was going to be the one I was going to post next before COVID decided to pay me a visit, which is about my experience going to see Depeche Mode in concert last month here in Las Vegas after taking some magic mushrooms. That was amazing. Getting to experience the concert at the human level and the spirit level simultaneously. So stay tuned for that coming up next. Take care, love and hugs.